the staple of consistency within the AFC North, that's the Pittsburgh Steelers. 17 years under Mike Tomlin, never a losing record, never less than 8 wins.
You add Patrick Queen there over from your division rival. You take a look at that offensive line, which does have some question marks, but still a decent wide receiving core that they have, a running game that has Najee Harris, and a quarterback that's been there, done that.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Where are you at in terms of a starting lineup? What you want to see from Team USA?
I think he'll get guys involved, and then there's your lockdown defender at the point guard, the point of attack, right? I do like Curry. I would then go with Ant. I like Ant over Booker. I think if you look at the way the Canada game was, they looked kind of slow starting, and then they kind of got rolling.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
He talked about Major League Baseball and its rule, or actually its relationship with sports betting and gambling.
Integrity is the foremost concern, and a lot of people are questioning that given all the scandals, right? There's Mercado, there's Pat Hoberg, one of the best umpires in MLB, suspended right now. We don't exactly know what he did, but he's been disciplined, and he hasn't umpired a game this year.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid. The Bostonian versus the Book.
Your mustache is falling.
Mustache is falling off. It's got to go. Ski's got another strikeout that I don't want to take. As soon as I take it off, they're going to give up a run. I'm trying to keep it on until he comes out of the game. It's all over the place. Come on. I'm superstitious.
He's got 10. He's got 10 Ks.
He's cruising. Wow.
They pulled Skeens, by the way.
Yeah, they pulled him. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
The Bostonian versus the Book.
Ferrall has taken over. Let's go. It's Ferrall. Coast to coast. Steaks, chicks, stacks. You and I are going to make a lot of money. It's Ferrall. Coast to coast. All right, hour 3 of C2C on a Thirsty Thursday. Good to have you with us. And all of our affiliates, all of our streaming networks, all of our radio stations, satellite radio, everybody, we're rocking it here. And we're still talking about college football, and we're still in the Big Ten.
We are still in the Big Ten, and let's hear from Penn State head coach James Franklin. Of course, they have had double-digit wins now the last few years. Scotty, have not been able to crack that college football playoff. Maybe now with 12 teams, they'll be able to do that. Here is Franklin talking about the high expectations.
There are guys that embrace that we're at a place like Penn State where we've been able to consistently, for the most part, win 10 or 11 games, but that's not the expectation at Penn State. They chose Penn State just like I chose Penn State to compete for championships, and we embrace that. Never win them. But we are one of the few programs in the country you can win 10 or 11 games, and people are unhappy. So we embrace that. We're excited about those opportunities, and it starts for us at West Virginia in Morgantown, which is going to be a challenging opening game.
Listen, you know what? I got to be honest with you. I actually believe the exact opposite. I believe that their 104,000 fans and their whiteouts are very happy with their 10-win seasons in Miserable Valley because it's been so long since Pete Gustafoulis and the Nittany Lions and Joe Paterno winning national championships, right? So this guy hasn't won them, and I still don't think he will win them. And I think they are happy with 10 wins because that's all they ever win. That's it. The days of them winning national championships were Joe Paterno days. And when the whole scandal with Sandusky went down and they fired Joe Paterno because they had to, that killed him. Thanks so much. He was dead within weeks after they killed him because his whole life was Penn State football. And he was a winner and he won titles. And that's all there is to it. And this guy is a phony. And he's afraid to play Pitt. That's all I know. All I know is that you're a phony and you're afraid to play Pitt. He goes, they're not happy with 10 wins. No, we're not happy that you won't play games that are meant to be played. In the history of Penn State football, they played Pitt every year since before Christ. And I did this yesterday, and I'm going to do it again today. This guy is a loser because he's afraid to play games against teams that'll beat him. So I don't care what anybody says about him. He's a phony and a loser because he's afraid to play big games. All he wants to do is play cream puffs and win. That's it. That's who he is. When does he win big games ever? Tell me that. Every year we hear about this guy going into the Ohio State game, how great Penn State is. And what happens every time they play him? They lose.
No good. And he does play Ohio State this year. On November the 2nd, and that is in Happy Valley.
Loss.
I agree with you. It'll be a loss. But the rest of his Big Ten schedule is pretty manageable. And that means you know what's going to happen with him. They're going to win their 10 or 11 games again. They're going to make the playoff. And I'll tell you now, they're going to be in that playoff, and they're going to play some SEC team, and they will get smashed in the first round by somebody. Right. They will get smashed by one of these teams the SEC, whether LSU, whoever you want to say, Ole Miss, whatever, wherever you want to go. They'll lose to one of those teams in the first round of the college football playoff.
I agree.
I'll finish the Big Ten today with Kirk Ferentz. Now, Iowa's offense has been pathetic for years. I guess, what do you say? Give him credit. He still wins every single year, and he never has any offense.
They win with defense.
But Kirk says that's going to all change, I guess, with Cade McNamara now at quarterback. Here's Kirk.
Going back to the 80s, I think one common theme, when we play well up front and we get good quarterback play, we've got a chance to become a good offense. That's kind of been a common denominator. And we haven't had that opportunity the last couple of years. I think we're finally in a position where maybe that is realistic, and we're certainly hopeful we'll know more here in a couple of weeks.
Well, I'll believe it when I see it because they never score. They just don't score. Their games are so boring. It's more fun watching the fans wave at the Children's Hospital than it is watching their offense. The best part of the game is watching the fans turn around and wave to the kids in the window at the hospital, because when their offense is out on the field, it's a great time to go get a beer. I mean, their offense sucks. They are so anemic and boring. And you know what we used to call it? 3 yards in a pile of dust, right? Like they hand the ball off and they gain 3 yards, then they gain 2 yards, and then on 3rd and 5 they have a quarterback that can't complete a pass to anyone on the field, and they punt, and they win with defense. They are so boring there. Honestly, so that kid from Michigan transferred there? Is that what you're telling me? That kid is the quarterback now?
Right. Well, he actually did the year before, and I guess he was hurt. Didn't play much. So now he's going to be in there ready to go this season. Enters camp as quarterback number one for Iowa.
Whatever.
Cade McNamara.
Whatever.
So he's been injured basically his whole time he's been at Iowa, and they say he's 100% ready to go.
And what do they do?
Score points.
They always make like the Big Ten title game, and they get their ass beat.
That's over with too, because now the dopey divisions are gone in the Big Ten. So it used to be they'd always win that West and end up in the title game. That's not happening anymore. Now it's 1 through 18. The top 2 teams are going to be in the title game. So those days are over for Iowa, seeing them play in the Big Ten title.
They're not going to be in a title game with that offense. I don't care what he says. No. He can talk until he's blue in the face. In fact, I'm surprised he's still there after all the racism that went on there. How that guy kept his job, I'll never know. Anyone else anywhere would have been fired 5 times over. This guy's running a racist football program, and nothing happened to him. That is so unbelievable to me that he survived that. I mean, honestly, guys say one word on TV and they're fired. Their careers are over. They're ruined. They're finished. They're done. He has coaches screaming N-bombs all day at practice, and half of the team's black, and nothing happens to the guy. I mean, honestly, how much juice? Who are you sleeping with? Honestly, how did that guy survive at Iowa is what I want to know. Like nothing happened. Remember, they fired Joe Paterno, and he wasn't the one raping little boys. They fired his ass. This guy's got coaches that are racist running all over his team, and nothing happens to him. Honest to God, you can't even make this stuff up. Don't blame me for what you fools did in Iowa City. Don't blame me that I tell it like it is. We all know what happened. Bunch of freaks.
Iowa 40-1 to win the Big Ten this year.
They're not winning anything.
Now, so I agree with you. Ohio State is plus 150, Oregon plus 210, Penn State, who we saw from Franklin, plus 550, and Michigan 7-1 on that board. There you go.
Listen,
USC,
I would pay
22-1.
money. I will. I literally will pay money to see Nebraska jump all those teams and beat a Penn State. Or, I'd rather listen, I'll even take this. I think USC can be better than Penn State and Michigan. I don't buy Michigan for 1 second. The entire team went to the NFL, Sharon Moore, and they're going to what? Look, how did they get that? You know why they got that 7-1? Because they won the national championship. Their entire team's gone. I am not buying Michigan at all. That kid, the quarterback in Nebraska, Raiola, is better than anyone Michigan has. And that Rule can flat out coach. And we already know USC's got talent and Riley can coach. So let's see it, tough guy. With your big mouth, you just said, we'll see in the end who's the best team. Okay, well, let's see, hot shot, that you're such a badass. Let's see you get it done. Because you know what I want to see? I want to see that P. Franklin lose. And I want to see Michigan lose. And frankly, I want to see Ryan Day get beat at Alton Stadium and see they'll eat him alive. If he loses one game this year, one game, they're going to eat him alive. Literally cannibalism.
We'll come back here from Cristobal in Miami.
Are there any grave issues that would keep Team USA from winning a gold medal?
Should they be minus 430 against the field or whatever the price is right now? Maybe. But am I looking at, hey, Europe as a continent to win the Olympics at plus 500 as an interesting bet? Yeah, because one, they have 5 teams in the Olympics out of the 12.
The early line. Only on SportsGrid.
Where are you at in terms of a starting lineup? What you want to see from Team USA?
I think he'll get guys involved, and then there's your lockdown defender at the point guard, the point of attack, right? I do like Curry. I would then go with Ant. I like Ant over Booker. I think if you look at the way the Canada game was, they looked kind of slow starting, and then they kind of got rolling.
Game time decisions. Only on SportsGrid.
He talked about Major League Baseball and its rule, or actually its relationship with sports betting and gambling.
Integrity is the foremost concern, and a lot of people are questioning that given all the scandals, right? There's Mercano, there's Pat Hoberg, one of the best umpires in MLB, suspended right now. We don't exactly know what he did, but he's been disciplined, and he hasn't umpired a game this year.
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid.
If this wind, like we have out of the Northwest, was here all week, it would be insane watching these guys play in it. But it's going to be a southwest wind, which makes it a little easier as far as the direction of the wind. The guys will have it a little bit of a break on the back nine. But it is such a fun golf course, one that I really do think tests every single aspect of your game.
Only on SportsGrid.
BetMGM First Bet 1500 is incredible. You get it 4 easy steps. Download the app on iOS or Android or go to BetMGM.com. That's 1. 2, sign up. Put $10 in your account. You got an account now, you're rolling. 3, place your first wager and receive up to $1,500 back in bonus bets if the bet loses. So in other words, Romeo, you could bet $1,500 on a game, lose, and they still give you $1,500 in bonus bets back into your account. So 4, if the bet does lose, you just have to wait for your bonus bets until that initial wager is settled. You are going to love BetMGM, and you're going to love the BetMGM first bet 1,500. Get your rocks off. You can bet up to 1,500. Either way, you're getting the 1,500 back. If you hit the bet, you're going to make money. If you lose the bet, you're getting all your money back. It's craziness.
It really is craziness, that's for sure. Update for you here. Enrique Hernandez just now, a double off the wall for the Dodgers. So 2-2 now. They just tied it up. Bottom of the fourth out in Los Angeles. Of course, Kershaw against Webb here this afternoon. And the Dodgers now man on second, one out. They'll try to extend this out to a lead now here against Logan Webb. All right, ACC. Let's go to Miami. Of course, Mario Cristobal heading into year number 3 as the head coach at the U. He was asked yesterday about his team going into year 3. What has improved? Are they finally going to get better down in South Beach? Here's Mario.
What's different, I can tell you what's progressing. And back to what we were talking about earlier, there's a starting point for everything, right? And starting point at Miami for us was making sure that we enhance the caliber of talent in the locker room, that we increase the level and capabilities of the coaching staff, and that we blend in the strongest and most unbreakable culture that we can. And we've been at it for 2 years, so systems are growing, players are developing, people are there for the right reasons, right? Growth and development, hard work, and good people is a very strong combination. We feel awesome about the people in the building. These guys, they run to the work. They run to the fight. They're awesome to be around. It really is. It's awesome to sit back and watch them work. It lets you go home and feel good knowing that no matter what, these guys are ready and willing to show up because they're driven. They're driven to win.
Except when you lose half your games every year. Like, everybody's great until they're not. Everyone's wonderful until they're not. Everyone's a winner until they're not. What is amazing to me about this guy, and honestly, I always thought he could coach. He wanted Oregon. All I know is this guy literally is splashing 5-star football players all over that team. Literally at every position, they recruit 5-star athletes. I mean, they get some of the best college players from high school in America go to Miami. They got speed, they're like race cars. They got so much speed and talent. Speed kills. How in God's name do you have that many 5-star athletes, 5-star football players, some of the best in the country come to Miami, and they still can't win? That is unbelievable to me. It's so unbelievable to me because why is it that Jimmy, Dennis, I could go on and on, Howard, all the coaches, Howard Schnellenberger, Dennis Erickson, Jimmy Johnson, they did the same thing and they all won. They all won. How does this guy have this much talent and he never wins? And then he talks about going home feeling good about himself. I would never feel good about myself if I lost to Louisiana Tech 22-0. In fact, I wouldn't sleep at night and I'd be an alcoholic because how do you live with yourself that you have that much talent and you never win? If you don't win this year, if they don't fire this guy, if they don't win, because I've heard they're winning 10 games this year. 10 games. 10 games. 10 effing games. We haven't won 10 games at the U since before. I mean, honestly, 2000. Larry Coker is better than this guy. And Coker won a title. And he was like 100 years old. He was older than Larinaga. And this guy, he just doesn't win. He just talks about how happy he is. And all the Cubans love him. Whatever. The Cubans love me too. And I was number 1 in Miami. Okay? And he's never been close to being number 1 at anything in Miami. Nothing except failing. He's number 1 at failing. I don't care what anybody says. I am not nice. Yeah, what is all this nice stuff? This is college football, cutthroat college football. If you don't win, you are eaten alive. I told you before, cannibalism. That's what we're dealing with here. I mean, this guy better win. Cartwright, you better calm me down. Get my pills, Mafia. Honestly, I'm starting to have palpitations.
Understand something. You heard the man just now. He's installing a unbreakable culture, and the kids are running to the work. Did you hear them? They're running to the work. They just can't wait to put the work in to make the U great again. I'll tell you one thing: he's a great talker. He's a great talker.
If he loses
he's a great recruiter
to Florida at the Swamp with that crappy Florida team, with that Billy Napier's team is so awful, they make Miami look like world beaters. If they go and lose that Thursday, trust me, if they lose that game, I can promise you they're going to lose at least 4 more. So they'll be 7-5 at best. 7-5 at best. 7 wins in Miami. You know what you are at Miami with 7 wins?
Pinstripe bowl.
You are a loser if you win 7 games at Miami. You're a loser coach if you win 7 games. You either win 10 or 11 games and get to that playoff every year, or you shouldn't be the coach at Miami. Can you imagine? You know what I would rather have? I would rather have, honestly, Jimmy Johnson at 80-some years old, working at Fox, come back and coach Miami in a wheelchair than this guy. Honestly, in a wheelchair, roll him out with some 70 sunblock on, and he could have a megaphone and sit in a wheelchair all day. He could be in one of those little carts that all the fat people drive around on at the airport, and then you give him a megaphone, and have Jimmy just yelling from a megaphone in one of those little wheelie things that they drive around on everywhere at the mall and everything at the airport. I need one of those, Carver High, and bring Jimmy Johnson back from the dead than this guy Cristobal talking about culture. Honest to Christ.
Are there any grave issues that would keep Team USA from winning a gold medal?
Should they be minus 430 against the field or whatever the price is right now? Maybe. But am I looking at, hey, Europe as a continent to win the Olympics at plus 500 as an interesting bet? Yeah, because one, they have 5 teams in the Olympics out of the 12.
The Early Line. Only on SportsGrid.
Where are you at in terms of a starting lineup? What you want to see from Team USA?
I think he'll get guys involved, and then there's your lockdown defender at the point guard, the point of attack, right? I do like Curry. I would then go with Ant. I like Ant over Booker. I think if you look at the way the Canada game was, they looked kind of slow starting, and then they kind of got rolling.
Game time decisions. Only on SportsGrid.
He talked about Major League Baseball and its rule, or actually its relationship with sports betting and gambling.
Integrity is the foremost concern, and a lot of people are questioning that given all the scandals, right? There's Mercano, there's Pat Hoberg, one of the best umpires in MLB, suspended right now. We don't exactly know what he did, but he's been disciplined, and he hasn't umpired a game this year.
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid.
If this wind, like we have out of the Northwest, was here all week, it would be insane watching these guys play in it. But it's going to be a southwest wind, which makes it a little easier as far as the direction of the wind. And the guys will have it a little bit of a break on the back nine. But it is such a fun golf course, one that I really do think tests every single aspect of your game.
Only on SportsGrid.
Last thing I want to say about it is, and I know we're going to the NFL, but the last thing I want to say about it is the one thing I don't want to hear, and I hear it every year, every single year, the most pathetic thing I hear in all of sports is in September when I start hearing when Miami wins a football game, the U is back. The U is back every week. That's all we hear. The U is back when they're 5-0 and they beat all these pansies. And then when they start playing conference games, they start losing. All I hear is the U is back, the U is back, the U is back, the U is back. Shut up with the U is back bullshit, because they haven't been back in 25 years, okay? So win all your games, win 10 games, and I'll shut up. They couldn't sniff 10 wins if it hit them in the face. Honestly. The U is back. I'm sick of hearing it. You don't see me doing this anymore. Like, you hear me go, I still get the gang. Meanwhile, Indiana sucks balls too in basketball. They're terrible now. They're terrible. They can't even make the NCAA tournament. And the football program, I don't care. Nick Coletti, I don't care who they got. But they suck in football.
Well, Signetti. I got to have him for you tomorrow. Today's his day in Indy. Signetti's talking today, so I'm going to have that for you tomorrow. I got to give you a little of the new Indiana coach to get you fired up for Hoosier football.
They're literally like picked 16th in the conference.
I know they are, but it's okay. Yeah, Miami, they got a very soft schedule, Scotty. They don't play, I said this to you the other day, Florida A&M, Ball State, USF, at Cal. They do go to Louisville. That's tough. Duke, Manny Diaz, the head coach at Duke now, by the way. So they'll play him. I'm sure Manny Diaz will beat Miami the first time.
They'll beat them. Right? They beat them. And I'll bet Florida A&M beats them. The Cottonmouths or whatever they're called.
They close with Georgia Tech, Wake Forest, and Syracuse to finish out the year. Those are their last 3 games. So
I'll bet my life they F around with all 3 of them.
They'll have a chance. If they're as good as Big Mario wants to think, they'll have a chance maybe at the end of the year if they can actually
Famous
beat those
last
teams.
words.
Indeed. Let's get some NFL, and of course you're going to talk to Adam in a minute as well. We haven't done any Steelers yet this week. And I feel like it's time that changed because we haven't heard from Mike Tomlin yet. And we love Mike Tomlin on C2C. Now, of course, he was going to be asked about the Russell Wilson, Justin Fields quarterback situation. Today, though, Scotty, Wilson didn't practice at all. He's day-to-day with calf soreness. So Fields took all the reps. And I know, I'm sure you sent this to me, but I had seen it anyway. He threw a dime. I don't know who that was. Going down the left sideline, but he threw a dime to one of those Steeler receivers during practice today. So that's the kind of stuff that Fields can do. Here's Tomlin yesterday dancing around how many reps each of them are going to get.
Russ still have pole position to be the starter?
Nothing has changed.
How do you plan on working those reps with him and Justin?
Very carefully. Well, I think I'm actually back myself into a corner, so you guys are going to ask me daily about the rep allocations, and no way. I've been on the job too long for that.
Here's Grumpy Stiltskin. He's not going to talk about it. He only gets nastier as it goes. When they start losing, he's even worse.
Indeed. Najee Harris wasn't in the best mood either. He was initially disappointed that the Steelers declined his 5th-year option. I saw a video of him walking past the reporters with all of his luggage and whatnot into the facility, into his dorm yesterday, I guess. Over there where the Steelers do training camp. So Harris wants to go out and prove it. Latrobe, home of Rolling Rock back in the day.
And Arnold Palmer.
And Arnold Palmer, that's right. I went to a concert in Latrobe once, the big Rolling Rock Festival back about 25 years ago.
Great spot.
What a day that was. Here are the Steelers' numbers for you for this year. As I've been giving you these as we get going. The win total, there it is again, 8.5. Just like last year, 7-1 to win the North, 40-1 to win the Super Bowl.
Well, if they're so loaded at quarterback and they're so loaded up front, they claim they're loaded, and their defense is sickening, and they got a great kicker in Boswell. They finally got rid of that hack-ass punter of theirs, that fat ass. And now let's see if they can, all they do is win. They win regular season games. They haven't won a playoff game since 2016. I like Tomlin. He wins. They have a winning record. They can win 9-10 games every year. But in Pittsburgh, we win Super Bowls. We win playoff games. We don't lose every time we go to the playoffs like we do now. It's got to change.
Are there any grave issues that would keep Team USA from winning a gold medal?
Should they be minus 430 against the field or whatever the price is right now? Maybe. But am I looking at, hey, Europe as a continent to win the Olympics at plus 500 as an interesting bet? Yeah, because one, they have 5 teams in the Olympics out of the 12.
The early line. Only on SportsGrid.
Where are you at in terms of a starting lineup? What you want to see from Team USA?
I think he'll get guys involved, and then there's your lockdown defender at the point guard, the point of attack, right? I do like Curry. I would then go with Ant. I like Ant over Booker. I think if you look at the way the Canada game was, they looked kind of slow starting, and then they kind of got rolling.
Game time decisions. Only on SportsGrid.
He talked about Major League Baseball and its rule, or actually its relationship with sports betting and gambling.
Integrity is the foremost concern, and a lot of people are questioning that given all the scandals, right? There's Mercano, there's Pat Hoberg, one of the best umpires in MLB, suspended right now. We don't exactly know what he did, but he's been disciplined, and he hasn't umpired a game this year.
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid.
If this wind like we have out of the Northwest was here all week, it would be insane watching these guys play. And if it's going to be a southwest wind, which makes it a little easier as far as the direction of the wind, the guys will have it a little bit of a break on the back nine. But it is such a fun golf course, one that I really do think tests every single aspect of your game.
Only on SportsGrid.
Kaplan is our NFL insider, almost 3 decades covering the NFL. You can follow him for free on X at Kaplan NFL and see him regularly on SportsGrid and even more regularly on Coast to Coast. He started his summer camp tour today in his hometown, of course, Homerized Milquetoast, Philadelphia, with his beloved Eagles, who he also works for, so he's completely on the take for him. But I want to start with this. Before we get into the Eagles, just what you just said to me was hilarious. You just said to me that Lamar Jackson needs reps because he's not winning playoff games. So are you insinuating that because this guy never trains in the preseason in camp, he's got like pneumonia or something. Every time they go to the practice field, he's sick. He's vomiting. He's got a stomach ache. He's got COVID. He's got this. He's got that. What I said to you was, because he knows that training camp sucks and he doesn't want to do it, he knows how to play on Sundays. You said he needs reps. You think that July is where he needs to get better to win a playoff game in January? I think in January he needs to wake the F up, not July. He's fine going to training camp. He needs to win in January.
He does. But understand, he's in the second year of this offensive scheme with Todd Monken, their offense coordinator. He needs reps. He needs reps in training camp. Yeah, sure. Look, they got a great team. They're clearly the favorite. The books will tell you that. They're the clear favorite for the AFC North. But your Steelers, who I will visit next week, they're going to have something to say about that. The best division of the National Football League. I'm looking forward to seeing the Ravens. But as I was telling you off the air, I'm not going to go until I know he's definitely going to practice and not leave. Yesterday, he practiced for an hour. He didn't look right. He didn't feel right. And he left. So he's had problems, Scott, with illness the last 3 years of leaving practice. I don't know what it is in training camp, but as you said, and we would agree, in the regular season, he's terrific.
I used to do that to my parents when I was in high school. I'd tell them I was sick and there was nothing wrong with me. And it was because I hated going to school. I think it's the same with Lamar. Lamar knows he's so great. He doesn't need to go to training camp and sweat his ass off all day in 100-degree heat and listen to coaches yelling and screaming. It's the same trick. He just doesn't want to go to camp. Let's talk about the Eagles. We talked the other day about Hurts and Sirianni's relationship. Yep. And then since then, Hurts is like, we get along great. You people are tripping. What's the real story?
All right. So let me go inside what you just talked about. he didn't shoot down that there were issues last year. He just talked about the difficulty and all this and the issues last year. The team didn't play well. He never came out and said, "Oh, we're great. We were great last season." I don't know what you guys are talking about. So that you could have shot that stuff down. Now, I will tell you, being here, what you asked me and what you and I talked about earlier this week on Monday. Once camp started, nobody's talking about it, but it was a major story, Scott, because of what happened in OTAs, and he didn't shoot stuff down. He had a non-response to a innocuous question, and that sparked speculation. But with Kellen Moore in here now as the offense coordinator, Kellen Moore is running his offense, which is more of a spread offense. It's completely different from Nick Sirianni's scheme. And what I thought was interesting, Scott, is when Hurts talked to the media yesterday, and he talked about in the last 10 years that he's played football, he's been in 8 different offenses or 8 different play callers. That's a lot of change here. Now, from talking to people who work with Kellen Moore, very quarterback-friendly system. And they struggle with it in the offseason. I saw with my own eyes. Last 2 days, pretty good. The timing there is pretty good. Their offense is pretty healthy. But I'll just say this from being there. I know it's one thing, you can look at a depth chart, but when you're there, you get to really see different things. This offense will start with that. Is much younger. They're getting younger. They're faster on offense, but I do have a question at receiver behind A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. They have no depth. Remember, this is going to be a spread offense. You need to have depth. Paris Campbell is their 3. Paris Campbell got benched last season with the Giants. That does concern me. They're really deep at running back with Saquon Barkley now. They're more explosive. Defensively, just like an offense, they're running a different version of Vic Fangio's scheme. They were running it 3 years ago, for the past 3 years. Now Fangio's in here. He runs it his own way. So the players have to get used to it. They're much deeper on the back end. The pass rush, you worry about Fletcher Cox and his retirement, Scott. So there's some massive changes on defense. I'm not concerned at all about their offense. I'm concerned about the defense. A lot of changes. They've gotten faster, but it's going to be a different look. It's going to be really different on defense because Vic Fangio is running his scheme and differently than the way they were running it 3 years ago.
Listen,
the past 3 years. Yeah.
I'm comfortable with Vic Fangio running their defense, and I believe that will be rounding into shape in short order. I think that Vic Fangio knows exactly what he wants to do and with who, in what positions, and I think that their defense, with all those question marks, will come into focus. I heard today that Hurts and Smith were lighting it up. Is that true?
They did. Yeah, Hurts made a sideline throw. Devontae Smith got, I don't know, it's one of these, because it was on my side of the field that I was standing. It's one of these catches you got. I don't know how he did that. They've always had good chemistry. But when you're running a Kellen Moore scheme that's more spread out, you need a 3rd and 4th receiver. Paris Campbell's got to step up. By the way, when he came out for the draft in 2019, Eagles loved him. There was a guy they were looking hard at in the 2nd round. He went to the Colts. Talented player who could play inside or outside. I'm interested to see how they use him. And Barkley caught some passes. Fans make a big deal about how the backs last year didn't get the football with DeAndre Swift. You and I talked about him on Monday. Barkley's just a different guy, man. You see the size. You don't see guys 230 move like this. Your guy Najee Harris is a big back who catches the ball well. He doesn't move like this. That it's so noticeable up close here. And with the offensive lines that the Eagles put together, he probably will have his best year. And how about his over-under total? Over-under -110 at whether it's over-under, it's 1,000.5 yards. I love the over, Scott. If he plays 15 games out of 17, he's easily going to go over 1,000 yards. That's an absolute lock.
Well, the problem is, Adam, with Saquon Barkley, as we can attest in New York, and you live in Philly, you're right down the street. You know what is happening in New York as much as anyone, is that he never plays 15 games. My man gets injured. You'll be lucky if he's playing in week 7. The guy has been injured the last several years and hasn't gone anywhere near 15 games.
Yeah, the key here, and we learned this with Christian McCaffrey, is have good backups, don't practice him a lot, and preserve him. Because McCaffrey, it's interesting with McCaffrey, people are all up in arms about the Niners trade for McCaffrey. What about his injury history? Well, he's found a way to play a ton of games for the Niners. At some point, these guys got to stay on the field. And that's the thing with Barkley here. But the over-under total, I mean, Scott, if he plays 14 games, he's going to run for 12 or 1,300 yards. So I do like that over. And by the way, to win the Super Bowl, the Eagles are plus 1,500. This roster is not nearly as good as 2022. And to win the NFC, by the way, they're plus 600. So to get to the Super Bowl, they're plus 600. Don't like that either because I like the Niners.
Listen, I love Saquon, and I think he's a great player. I just have a hard time believing he can stay on the field for the 14, 15 games that you're talking about. I think Swift's going to be huge. They're going to have to – it's got to be more than just Barkley. I question whether he can do a dime in his first year in Philly. Real quick, on Kirk Cousins and on Lamb and on Reddick and Trent Williams, in any order.
Yeah, Williams here is going to need a contract adjustment. He's out of camp. That's what he wants done. His contract's actually very undervalued. Reddick, he wants his contract redone. The Jets knew this. They've had talks with his agent. This is an ongoing process. You know, these guys are going to get fined for not showing up.
How many sacks did he have in Philly, Reddick? A lot.
Well, 2 years ago it was a ton. Last year wasn't quite as good. Still good, by the way. But Kirk Cousins, he's not going to play in the preseason. They want to preserve him coming off the Achilles, but he's cleared for practice. He looks fine. They're going to be good on offense. It's defensively where I have an issue with the Falcons.
All right, and Lamb, he's going to get as much money as Jefferson or not?
He has to, or he's not coming in. I don't see it.
I think he's getting all that money. Man, Jerry's going to have sleepless nights having to pay him and Prescott. Great stuff.
Are there any grave issues that would keep Team USA from winning a gold medal?
Should they be minus 430 against the field or whatever the price is right now? Maybe. But am I looking at, hey, Europe as a continent to win the Olympics at plus 500 as an interesting bet? Yeah, because one, they have 5 teams in the Olympics out of the 12.
The early line. Only on SportsGrid.
Where are you at in terms of a starting lineup? What you want to see from Team USA?
I think he'll get guys involved, and then there's your lockdown defender at the point guard, the point of attack, right? I do like Curry. I would then go with Ant. I like Ant over Booker. I think if you look at the way the Canada game was, they looked kind of slow starting, and then they kind of got rolling.
Game time decisions. Only on SportsGrid.
He talked about Major League Baseball and its rule, or actually its relationship with sports betting and gambling.
Integrity is the foremost concern, and a lot of people are questioning that given all the scandals, right? There's Mercano, there's Pat Hoberg, one of the best umpires in MLB, suspended right now. We don't exactly know what he did, but he's been disciplined, and he hasn't umpired a game this year.
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid.
If this wind like we have out of the Northwest was here all week, it would be insane watching these guys play in it. But it's going to be a southwest wind, which makes it a little easier as far as the direction of the wind. The guys will have it a little bit of a break on the back nine. But it is such a fun golf course, one that I really do think tests every single aspect of your game.
Only on SportsGrid.
All right, Carver High, a ton of other NFL skinny to talk about today on C2C. Let's hit as much as we can.
Yeah, I got a lot of NFL, but the good news is it'll still be good tomorrow. Some of the stuff, if I have to hold that
Still fresh. Leftovers.
Of course, Aaron Rodgers has arrived at Jets camp. Hopefully it goes better for them this year. It has to. He only played 4 snaps a year ago. Let's get a couple from Aaron here. First, him talking about how many teams he thinks legitimately can win the Super Bowl, and are the Jets one of those teams? Here's Aaron Rodgers.
How realistic a goal is New Orleans for this team?
Well, it has to be the goal. I mean, the beauty is every single year there's 8 to 12 teams, maybe, probably less, but 8 to 12 teams that could actually do it, and we're one of those 8 to 12.
Yeah, okay. All right.
They're one of the 8 to 12.
Yeah.
He said it. He knows everything. They're
I
one of the
told
8 to
you,
12.
when is the last time, you've been with me over a decade, when is the last time in the decade, and you knew me before that, you heard me say this before you even liked me or disliked me. Long before you worked with me, I said to you, on here, you'd hear me at the Fan and whatever, CBS, you'd hear me say, every single effing year that I've been alive, the Jets are going to the Super Bowl. When you live in New York, all I hear is the Jets and the Big Blue are going to the Super Bowl every year. No matter how bad they are, no matter what their record is, who their players are, who their coach is, every single year that I have lived here, they have been favored to go to the Super Bowl. According to New York sportscasters and New York talkies and New York tabloids, every year the Jets are going to the Super Bowl. Every year I've heard it since I've lived here. It's criminal is what it is. It's criminal. It's like the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life. They have sucked every year I've ever been here, except the years that Ryan got him against the Steelers in the title game. That was it. And they lost that too.
Yep, that was it. The back-to-back years, Colts, Steelers, that back-to-back, they have not been since. Here's another one from Rodgers. Of course, he made all of the offseason program except, though, that last week, which was the mandatory minicamp, and ended up racking some fines for his trip to go ride the camels in Egypt. Here he is for the first time discussing that scenario. And
go to the Sphinx.
You know, I was at the physical day as a part of the minicamp. Missed the two practices. You know, had talks with all my teammates about it. I think they understood it was obviously more of an issue outside the building than it was inside the building. Robert and I are great. We had great conversations throughout the off season. Had a fun one last night in his office too later on. So, it is what it is. I'm an adult. I knew what I was getting into. I knew the fine that was coming, and
do what I want.
Also knew how much I wanted to be in Egypt. I wish there hadn't been a conflict scheduling wise, but. Was what it was.
Look,
do what I want.
He's Aaron Rodgers. He can do whatever the F he wants. He is like, I have never seen a guy in my life that gets more attention for his one Super Bowl than this guy. Like, you would think that this guy has won Brady type numbers. He has sniffed it once. That's it. All I know is, and he gets away with murder. He can do whatever he wants. He can go to Egypt. He can go eat mushrooms. He can do whatever he wants because he's Aaron Rodgers. He doesn't have to listen to that fluky coach Saleh. That guy's lifespan as the Jets coach is numbered. I mean, counting the days till they fire him. Trust me, he has done nothing in New York. I am telling you, you can ask anyone who knows anything about football. Rex Ryan, they can say whatever they want about him. He's the last time they had a coach. He won. That's the last time they won. This guy never does. Do you remember when they got him from the 49ers, Chris? You would have thought they were getting Jesus Christ himself to coach the Jets. And this guy has done nothing but lose and do nothing. He's worthless. You think that Aaron Rodgers listens to that fool? No. Are you kidding me? He don't even listen to Woody Johnson. They are lucky they have him. And then he tore his Achilles, and now everyone thinks he's going to come back from that and win a Super Bowl? Okay.
And they're already gassing it up, too. I saw all the tweets. 9 for 9 on the 7-on-7 today.
Yeah.
He's looking, just unbelievable.
Greatest
how
team
he
ever.
Does it.
Greatest team ever. Greatest team.
Unbelievable.
Greatest team ever.
I'm going to save the Harbaugh for tomorrow because it's too funny, and we need to have some time with that, and we just don't have enough time for it right now. You and Adam already talked about Lamar Jackson. He lasted 1 hour as he returned to practice yesterday. He still wasn't feeling great. Scotty. So I'm sure he'll be fine. It's July. Let me check again. It's July 25th. Lamar Jackson will be out there when they play Week 1. I think we're all pretty. That opening Thursday night.
Listen, I don't agree with anything that. I love Adam. We're good friends. I'm sorry. This guy needs reps about as much as I do. Okay? Like, there is nothing. You know what they should be talking about is, oh, he really dropped 20 pounds. Maybe that's why he's sick all the time. What is he, drinking water? He don't eat food? Like, I don't understand it. Like, I eat everything I see. And then they say, you're fat, you got a big gut, you need to lose weight. I'm like, screw you. Give me another rum. I don't care anymore. I'm old. I'm finished. It's over. I want to be fat. I want to have a gut. I want to not go to training camp. I'm not drinking water and eating fish all day and fish oil pills, okay? So I don't need reps. I'm Lamar Jackson. I'm the MVP. Give me the ball. I play on Sundays. I don't play on weekdays at training camp. Oh, what a waste of time this is. And did I not tell you, we had 2 ACL tears today? 2 of them. I mean, count them up. We'll have 30 by the time the month's over.
Rams cornerback Darion Kendrick tore an ACL. Vikings cornerback Mekhi Blackman tears ACL. First training camp practice for both of those guys. So another training camp tradition unlike any other. Guys getting hurt.
That's all it is.
Guys getting hurt at practice, a training camp tradition unlike any other. The Seahawks and safety Julian Love agreed to a 4-year extension, $36 million. Matthew Judon wants an extension. He's got 1 year left on his Patriot deal.
He's a badass.
And you also mentioned he is. Cousins medically cleared after the Achilles injury last year. He will not play in any of the preseason games.
I wouldn't even let him practice.
Him ready. I wouldn't even let him practice.
I wouldn't even let him practice. He's like, you know what he is? He's Waterford Crystal. He's so valuable that you can't let him on the field to do anything. I wouldn't even let him on the practice field.
Are there any grave issues that would keep Team USA from winning a gold medal?
Should they be minus 430 against the field or whatever the price is right now? Maybe. But am I looking at, hey, Europe as a continent to win the Olympics at plus 500 as an interesting bet? Yeah, because one, they have 5 teams in the Olympics out of the 12.
The early line. Only on SportsGrid.
Where are you at in terms of a starting lineup? What you want to see from Team USA?
I think he'll get guys involved, and then there's your lockdown defender at the point guard, the point of attack, right? I do like Curry. I would then go with Ant. I like Ant over Booker. I think if you look at the way the Canada game was, they looked kind of slow starting, and then they kind of got rolling.
Game time decisions. Only on SportsGrid.
He talked about Major League Baseball and its rule, or actually its relationship with sports betting and gambling.
Integrity is the foremost concern, and a lot of people are questioning that given all the scandals, right? There's Mercado, there's Pat Hoberg, one of the best umpires in MLB, suspended right now. We don't exactly know what he did, but he's been disciplined, and he hasn't umpired a game this year.
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid.
If this wind like we have out of the Northwest was here all week, it would be insane watching these guys play in it. But it's going to be a southwest wind, which makes it a little easier as far as the direction of the wind. The guys will have it a little bit of a break on the back nine. But it is such a fun golf course, one that I really do think tests every single aspect of your game.
Only on SportsGrid.
So fans of Coast to Coast all over the globe know 3 things. 1, Carver High hits taters. 2, Carver High hits golf winners. 3, Carver High loves leftovers. Boom.
Certainly do. We'll start with Joel Embiid today, who said he's probably the most hated player in the NBA. Now, look, I'm not sure he's at that level. I know one thing. I'm sure you saw this today, too. I know all those people in France don't like him. Did you see him walking into, I don't know if that was the hotel or the arena today, giving him the business that he's playing for the United States instead of France? They were laying into him today over there.
Yeah, I don't care about his problems with fans or that people hate him. You know what? I don't like him either. I'm not a fan. I'm a Knick fan, and I hate the Sixers, and I hate him. So I don't care what he does on Team USA. I don't care if he plays for Cameroon, France, or the USA. I hope his knee hurts next year, all year, too, and he walks the entire season like he did this year. And then Knicks will beat their ass again.
Hard to think that he's more hated than Dillon Brooks or Draymond Green, by the way.
Or what's his name? The little mosquito guard everybody hates that I hate. That's going to play in Israel.
Patrick Beverly.
I hate Patrick Beverly. No way is he worse than him.
Nets have gotten interest in Cam Johnson from the Lakers, Kings, and Magic. So fail for flag continues to move along.
Why would
they try to strip everything?
They get rid of Mikal Bridges and now they're going to get rid of Cam Johnson. They might as well not have games.
Fail for flag. It is underway. NBA media deals are finalized. ESPN renews, NBA returns. NBC, I should say, returns after decades away, and Amazon will replace TNT. Part of the NBC deal will have a Sunday night prime time package as well.
Yeah.
I was going through it all. There are so many games. I mean, there's going to be NBA games on regular TV, like Nats TV, every single night. It's going to be wild.
Yeah, and like Sunday Night Football, it's going to be on every Sunday night, a primetime game. And like ESPN already has a Saturday night primetime game.
They do. Kate Ledecky hopes for clean races at the Paris Olympics in the aftermath of the Chinese doping scandal. She is the most decorated women's swimmer of all time. Top-ranked Yannick Sinner withdraws from the Olympic tennis competition due to tonsillitis. Your boy Sinner not going to make it there in France. Dana White says the winner of the Jones-Miocic fight will face the winner of the Aspinall-Blades fight. That would be in the heavyweight division. The Flyers signed Travis Konecny to an 8-year, $70 million extension. There you go. Good luck in Philly with Travis Konecny.
68 points, and he got $70 million. Yes. Like, are you kidding me?
He did.
Ferrall finish. Man City goalie Kiara Keating, who is a great player in English women's Premier League soccer, busted with her mother, allegedly, with possession of nitrous oxide. Mom and daughter with the oxide, the laughing gas potion. What are they having? Laughing gas parties at the house on weekends? Everybody's sucking in some laughing gas? French authorities foil several plots of terrorism at the Paris Games already. Cosm in Los Angeles is the new Sphere, like in Vegas. Cosm is 360-degree, just like the Sphere, with the TVs going all around the arena. And what they're going to do is it's up close seating. So you're sitting right next to these monitors, these gigantic television monitors, and they're going to run sports through there. They're going to have UFC, college football games, the U.S. Open tennis. They also have like volcanoes and you name it. Like you can go there tripping, absolutely tripping, like at a dead show and lose your mind. Cosm in Inglewood and Lipstick City, the talk of the town. A meteor soared over the Statue of Liberty at 34,000 miles an hour, burned up over Manhattan, as New Yorkers report, shaking. Ooh. Miami real estate titan accused of poisoning his wife with fentanyl kills himself amid an FBI probe into the murder for hire plot. That's juicy. A 340-pound woman in Indiana, speaking of juicy, arrested after sitting on her 10-year-old foster son who died 2 days later. An unfortunate death. Wouldn't want that to happen to anyone. How'd you like to have your 350-pound mom sit on you? GTD is next. Go to FerrallOnTheBench.com. Check out Profitable TV. You're going to love it.